So, two reasons why you shouldn't use a relative or a family member as a chaperone when performing a medical examination as a doctor. What do I mean? You might want to perform a medical examination, maybe an intimate examination on a patient, and because you don't really have a lot of time, you're running out of time, you probably have 10 minutes for your consultation, and there's a family member, a spouse, a parent, a grandparent around, and that person is volunteering to act as a chaperone. Should you use that person, or should you get a professional person, like a medical receptionist, a medical admin, a nurse, a healthcare, or a fellow doctor to serve as your chaperone? I'll explain further. Now, the number one reason why you shouldn't use a family member, why it's not advised, is that family member could become emotionally upset. The patient themselves could become emotionally upset with the idea of seeing a relative watch you perform that particular examination. They might feel embarrassed. They might accept initially that yes, my mom, my husband, my wife could serve as a chaperone. But when the examination starts and proceeds, they might start being embarrassed or feeling shy. The relative themselves may not understand in detail why you as a medical person is prodding and touching in certain ways or places. They may not really understand that, and they might leave that consultation being emotionally upset, and obviously that can lead to complaints, investigations, and could lead you into trouble. Because sometimes you could be innocent, but remember, without enough proof of your innocence, you'll be found guilty. The second reason why it's not advised to use a family member as a chaperone is that there could be malicious accusations or malicious complaints. So the patient and the family member could gang up against you and maliciously accuse you of doing something that you haven't done. And what that means is that it becomes your word against theirs. So in terms of chaperone, why it's usually advised to use a medical person, it could be a medical admin, staff, a receptionist or a nurse. The reason is that each time another member of staff serves as a chaperone, they usually would put in a documentation that they chaperoned you and this is what you did, this is what they observed you do. That serves as a legal backing. For instance, if there is a legal complaint against you that you probably sexually harassed the patient or inappropriately touched the patient, then that chaperone's documentation serves as an extra backing to say exactly what you did, how you did it, or how they watched it, observed it, and that usually helps. And usually in the presence of a chaperone, if someone has the intent of actually maliciously accusing you of things you haven't done, the fact that there was someone else who witnessed it will usually deter them from doing that. For other people who might be wondering what a chaperone means, a chaperone is a person that usually watches, is present while a medical examination is being carried out. And a chaperone usually serves two functions. And the first function a chaperone serves is as a witness, which usually has legal supporting roles. So as a witness, the person is saying, this is what I saw this doctor do or this nurse do, and this is how I observed them do it. So that they serve as a witness. Their documentation serves as a witness to what you have done, which has legal support in case you are accused of inappropriate conduct. The second function of a chaperone, of a professional chaperone, is it allows the patient to be relaxed and comfortable during that examination. So the patient knows that, okay, someone else is here, so even if this doctor is naughty and indisciplined, or the doctor is unlikely to do anything that is inappropriate. And then still on that second part of making people comfortable and relaxed, it also helps you as a doctor to be relaxed. For instance, as a doctor, if you're going to perform a breast examination on a female patient as a male doctor, if there's no chaperone there, or if a family member is acting as your chaperone, you might not be one to really probe as much as you should to actually check for lumps and delineate the lumps and properly examine the lumps. You may be too you have to be gentle in all examinations, but you might be excessively gentle when you should probably be doing what we call a deep palpation. So you might not feel comfortable doing a deep palpation when you should be doing that, because you don't want to emotionally upset the spouse or the patient, embarrass them in front of. You don't want the patient going home and the husband starts accusing her of what was the doctor squeezing and pressing and all of that. So people do it. You'll be so shocked at how many people are scared of their spouse. You could see that fear sometimes, as a doctor. Sometimes female patients, you could see that fear written on their faces when you want to examine them, and their spouse, their husband is there, and they just feel embarrassed, and they're literally trying to get that non-verbal consent from the husband for them to actually allow a male doctor to examine them. You'll be shocked how many times these things happen. So as a doctor, as a nurse, as a health professional who examines patients, avoid using family members to perform intimate examinations. Don't use family members as your chaperone. It's very important to avoid wrong accusations.